Hello my friends, and welcome to today's video break. Psalm 51 verse 4 says, "Against you, you only have I sinned and done what is evil in your sight." Now David is not only mentioning, what he's done to himself, but now he recognizes that his sin is against the Lord. He recognized that it broke his relationship, it hurt his relationship with God, that his sin affected God. That to me is just hard to, it's hard. It's one thing to hurt me because I've sinned, or hurt a loved one because I've sinned. It's a whole nother different view to think that my sin hurts God, that my sin, it affects the way God not only views me, but we don't want to look at it that way, but who God is. And David's going to explain this in further, but I hope that you and I realize that we're hurting more than ourselves when we do sin, that we're hurting God when we sin. And because our sin affects not only us, but it harms other people that God calls his own. And that to me is think about that, process that your sin is not only bothering you, it's not only affecting you, your sin is hurting loved ones that God dearly loves. So of course it affects God. And of course he wants us to stop sinning, stop hurting, stop. But it takes the acknowledgement to realize that that's exactly what we're doing. We're hurting other people besides ourselves, and especially God. And David calls out to that, "Against you, Lord, against you alone have I sinned." And coming to that full realization, it's not a guilt moment or not a shame moment, but it's a freeing moment to think, yet God doesn't turn his back. Yet God is still looking at me. And please, Lord, help us all to get to that place of acknowledgement, that we know the very facts that our sin hurts others, and especially our Lord. Get to that place with your sin if you haven't already. Don't, sometimes Christians say, "Well, everybody sins, everybody does it, I'm such a sinner." Those are so many lies that we've believed, because God doesn't make us sinners after we're saved. He calls us saints, that we're saved by grace and we walk on. And so we need to keep acknowledging the very fact and bringing everything that we do before God. Growing in your knowledge of how God sees your sin will set you free. Okay? So just acknowledge it before God, that this hurts him. Have a very blessed day.